Tired of dealing with annoying flies, fruit flies, and gnats in your home? The Zevo Flying Insect Trap is your ultimate solution. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description now to get your Zevo Flying Insect Trap on Amazon and enjoy a bug-free home today.
Megan Davis never anticipated the surge of online vitriol that came her way after being cast as Amber Heard in a Tubi movie about the actress' headline-making defamation trial with ex-husband Johnny Depp. Nearly 2 years after Hot Take, the Depp/Heard trial premiered, Davis, 35, tells our channel in an exclusive interview how she overcame so much hate from legions of Depp supporters and others who felt she wasn't a right fit to play Heard. When that role was announced, it was like a wave of so much hate. I think probably like 30,000 messages and comments. And so many of them were awful, just like, "You're so ugly, you're so fat. You're an embarrassment," she recalls. Just really mean stuff. And at the time, I think I thought I was prepared. I knew there would be some response, but I don't think I thought it would be like that. Davis, whose acting credits also include American Horror Story, Two Broke Girls and Young Hungry, among other TV shows and films, says that she descended into a very dark place for several days as the painful words kept pouring in. The star, who is a proud member of the LGBTQIA community and identifies as queer, says that being called gay, in a derogatory manner, was particularly upsetting. "I had to deal with a lot of my internalized homophobia when people would call me gay because I was like, I feel like I'm queer, pansexual, bisexual, whatever you want to call it. But I realized that my aversion of the label, it had to do with my own healing that I hadn't done, my own internalized homophobia," she explains. Davis, who grew up in a religious household in Tulsa, Oklahoma, says the silver lining of these specific attacks was feeling the need to address any complicated feelings surrounding her own queerness. "By clicking above you agree to the terms of use and privacy policy. Once I did that work, you could call me anything at this point. I don't care because I know who I am," says the artist, who was, in part, thrilled to portray Heard because the latter is openly bisexual and she hoped to provide some authentic representation for viewers. "It was a really good lesson for me, it was a difficult lesson for me and, usually, I try not to respond to people that are saying hateful things." Such rhetoric inspired Davis, who didn't watch the trial's extensive media coverage until she was asked to audition for Hot Take, to humanize Heard as much as she could. "When I listened to those tapes, I recognized a lot of myself in how I used to argue with people that I was in love with," she says of the audio recordings that were played in court as evidence of Heard and Depp's tumultuous dynamic, damning both parties in the process. For more our channel you love, it's challenging when you're in love with someone who has a larger-than-life life. I think she was doing the best she could and I think most of us are usually doing the best that we can, Davis elaborates. "It wasn't really a challenge to humanize her because I felt like she was very human and people weren't giving her credit for that." Still, the brunette beauty emphasizes that Heard is not a blameless saint, but admits she gained a level of empathy for her as she studied courtroom clips and recordings of her arguments with Depp in preparation for the project. "I felt really a lot of compassion, maybe is the right word? The world, the way they reacted to her, it was really frustrating to me," she says of widespread hostility hurled at Heard juxtaposed against the fervent public support Depp was met with. "No, she wasn't perfect and yes, she did a lot of things wrong and no, I don't think she did herself any favors by testifying on the stand," Davis elaborates. "He was not perfect either and the day that the world responded to him was completely different and that was really frustrating to me." Depp, 61, who was played by actor Mark Hapka in Hot Take, and Heard, 38, dominated the news cycle in May 2022 as their court case played out over her 2018 Washington Post op-ed about domestic abuse. A verdict was reached that June, with Depp being awarded $10 million in compensatory damages and $5 million in punitive damages. Heard, who was married to her The Rum Diary co-star from 2015 to 2017, has since moved to Madrid, where she lives with her 3-year-old daughter, Unak. Davis is under the impression